Welcome back to Every Other Carl. I'm Carl, and in this video, we're finishing up the $4,000 kitchen renovation. So some of the finishing touches is first installing our luxury vinyl plank flooring. This is Shallowford Oak by LifeProof from Home Depot. It's a wide luxury vinyl plank, and it goes down really easily. Also putting in our new appliances and some cool little finishing touches that we did here. This is a little barn door that is covering our fuse box, the electrical panel that was kind of unsightly in the kitchen. Adding some semi-floating shelves. Got some on this side and some on this side. And just the little finishing things like down here, built a vent that cleverly covers the radiant floorboard. So let's get to it. Our old laminate flooring was dark and not installed well, so we removed it and went with a luxury vinyl plank by LifeProof from Home Depot. Before the install, we filled in any holes or dips in the floor with Bondo. Bondo was great for this since it can handle a bit of flexing and it dries super quick. My father-in-law was visiting and helped with the install. He's got an amazing mind for calculating cuts and plank placement. We ended up using every last plank for the perfect amount to finish the floor. If you want to see a full video on how to actually install vinyl plank flooring, I made a video on that when I was building my shed. I can link that below, or I'll put a link on the screen if you want to check that video out. With the flooring installed, we could put our new appliances in their final places. This Samsung stove was a great open box find at Best Buy for $565. Because the stove was at the end of our row of cabinets, I made a thin plywood panel, painted the same color as our cabinets, and used magnets to attach it to the stove to give it a finished look. I made one for the microwave above as well. Again, I used magnets and a little bit of Velcro by 3M. Since we installed our flooring around our base cabinets, it was now time to add the kick plates to the bottom of those cabinets. Some of the base cabinets were in front of our radiant floorboard, so I added vents to the kick plates to allow heat to come through. I also needed to cover that radiant floorboard under our little seating area. For that, I made my own vent cover, with some plywood and a piece of decorative metal venting from Lowe's, all of that painted white. Adding oak thresholds to the doorways and some quarter-round trim around the edges completed the flooring job. With the flooring done, we can move over to this electrical box. So this is the electrical panel, and it is pretty ugly, just sitting there in the middle of the wall, kind of ruining the look of the kitchen here. So what my wife actually found was you can put a little mini barn door over this, and you open the barn door and then you can open the electrical panel. That's going to look a lot better. So we're going to be building one of those today. This little barn door was one of those things you see on Pinterest and you say, that's a great idea. Turns out this great idea was pretty easy to make too. I had some leftover 1x3 rough cut wood left over from another project. I sanded it down a bit so it wouldn't give us splinters, and I cut them in half on my table saw so that they were now 3 inches wide by ½ an inch thick. The end pieces I notched so that they could bump out over the electrical panel door. I then cut all the pieces to resemble a little barn door and gave them a light golden oak stain, and then screwed them together. All right, here's the panel. We've got 5 pieces here, and then there's a piece down on the bottom, a piece on the top, and a piece that goes diagonal. I screwed them all from the back so that the hardware would be hidden. Only the hinge is going to be seen. And this is what we're looking like for now. Nice little barn door. All right, so on the sides here, kind of hollowed out part of this piece. It's just going to go right up and cover those screws. And then same thing on this side. Go ahead and cover that edge piece. That makes the door a little bit narrower than it would have been if we'd put these all the way out to the side. So I think this makes it a lot nicer. Install was easy since the electrical panel itself was screwed into a stud on its left side. On the right side, I used a couple drywall anchors to attach the wood to the wall. A note on safety, I made sure there were no wires anywhere I was screwing into the wall. In a previous video, I did a bunch of electrical work, so I knew where everything was back there. Just be careful whenever you're working around electricity. All right, and it's done. I put a magnet on the back here. It's not super pretty, but I'm not going to be looking back there much. It closes up and connects to that metal electrical panel. I think it looks great.
The last project we wanted to do to complete the kitchen was to add some cute shelving. My wife loved the idea of wooden floating shelves. She's got a great little collection of coffee mugs, including one she made for me. And she's a great baker, so we wanted the shelves to fit the coffee mugs and some jars for baking ingredients. We wanted floating shelves, but buying a floating shelf kit can be a bit pricey, so we opted to make our own. We used simple 3/4 inch thick by 8 inch wide pine project boards that we stained golden oak, the same color as our little barn door. We mounted the boards to the wall with 5-inch black L brackets, screwing into a stud or using drywall anchors. I made sure all the brackets were level and cut the boards at an angle so they would wrap around the corner in an L shape. I used short black screws to attach the shelves to the brackets. We left the bracket black on the underside of the shelf, since it gives sort of a barn-style look, but we painted the upper part of the brackets the same color as the wall, so that the shelves look like they're floating. I think you want to be careful whenever you add shelves to a kitchen, because whatever you put on them is going to become part of the aesthetic of the kitchen. If you want extra general storage, add a cabinet, or put stuff in a pantry. But if you know what you want to put on those shelves, like mugs and pretty baking supplies, go for the shelves. We added a few triangular shelves to the other side of the kitchen for the mug collection. These also used L brackets, but were also screwed into the cabinet. I think they really help bring both sides of the kitchen together, style-wise. With these little shelves up, the kitchen was officially done. I'm planning to make one more video doing an entire breakdown of this kitchen remodel from start to finish. I'll add more of a price breakdown in that video, but we were able to do all of this for right around $4,000. That's a pretty good deal for what amounted to almost a complete gut job. Our new appliances accounted for a decent portion of that budget, even though we got all of them for great prices, either on Marketplace, Dent and Scratch deals, or open box. If you want to see that full breakdown video, go ahead and subscribe. I'll also leave some links to any of the products that I used in this video, anything that I can think of at least. Put those in the description, so go ahead and check that out. And please feel free to ask any questions or leave any comments. They could really help out another person who's trying to renovate their kitchen. Alright, that's pretty much going to do it for this video. If you liked the video, like the video. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. Please subscribe, and until next time, I'm Everyday Carl, and I'll see ya.